Hey everyone, Pastor Tim here alongside Pastor Matt, and we are in the Tea-Free Sanctuary right now, and we have some pretty fun and exciting news that we want to share with you this morning.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty great. So you probably saw that this coming Friday is when we enter the green phase of the governor's reopening plan. So we've got some pretty great adjustments we want to make for this Sunday.
Yeah, so we're inviting you to come into the sanctuary this Sunday morning. Here's the fast particulars that we want you to get, and then we're going to talk to you about a couple things after that. Here's the particulars. Number one, we're going to be having one service. It'll be at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and we want you to be self-screening. So when you come into the church, if you haven't been feeling well or you know you've been exposed to someone who might have COVID-19, then just kind of check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck everyone else. So just make sure that you're feeling good before you come in. And if you're not feeling good, just go ahead and stay home. We'll still be live streaming, so it'll be all good.
All right. So number three, we're asking that everybody wear a face covering. I'm going to talk more to you about that later on, but get a face covering, have a face covering, wear a face covering when you come into the building Sunday.
We're also going to have hand sanitizer waiting by the door, so just give yourself a little pump on your way in and a little pump on your way out and get yourself cleaned up and ready to go.
And then, of course, we're going to have you practice social distancing. So we'll want you to do the best you can to stay 6 feet apart. I keep moving away from Matt a little bit, and that's kind of what we want you to do when you're engaging people on Sunday morning.
And then when you're in the sanctuary, you'll be sitting every other pew, and so we're not going to get real weird about that. Actually, right now, we've just got some blue painter's tape, just blocking off every other pew, just to help with the distancing and just keep things spaced out for cleaning also.
Yep. So we're going to have a lot of fun Sunday morning, and we're just going to follow these simple steps to make sure that we're keeping everybody in the building safe. All these things that we're doing, like remember, we know that you can't get down to zero risk. So we're just doing all the things that are within our power to minimize risk the best we can. For at least this Sunday, we want you to know that, this Sunday and the next Sunday, children are going to be seated with their parents. We're trying to talk about and work on some things for kids, but we really don't have the ability to do that just yet. So children will be with their parents on Sunday mornings. Now, let's have the mask talk, the face covering talk. So let's acknowledge, first of all, that nobody likes wearing a mask. I don't like wearing a mask. I know that you don't like wearing a mask. They're hot, they're uncomfortable, I don't like the smell of my own breath, and it makes it really hard to drink coffee when you're wearing a mask. So none of us like to wear a mask. For some of us, though, masks have become more than just a matter of inconvenience. Some of us, we resent being asked to wear a mask. And whenever you think about wearing a mask or somebody asking you to wear a mask, I know what's going on inside of you. You're just tensing up inside, and you're tightening your mouth, and you're just feeling it there. So, I understand all that. I get all that. Here's what I'm doing. I'm asking you, please, wear a mask even though you hate it. Wear a mask, please, even though you hate it. Here's why.
Yeah, so we've been talking to our medical professionals. If you remember, way back when all this started, we did a medical roundtable, and we had a bunch of medical professionals on there, talk to them about the pandemic, and that was, of course, way out. And so we've been talking to them the whole way through. And so by talking to them, our best medical understanding is that a face covering helps to prevent the communicating of the disease. Again, it's not 100%, but it helps you from spreading it to someone else. The mask is for the benefit of the other person, not for the protection of yourself. This is about loving other people. And so, especially when we think about our older folks and our at-risk population, I know none of you would want any of our older folks to come down with anything. And so this is just about being mindful of them and being mindful of those folks who are at risk. We wear a mask to protect them so that they can be back here with us as well.
Yeah, so kind of along the lines of what Matt was saying, when we're asking you to wear a mask, this is like an act of self-sacrificial love. Wearing it says, I hate this, but I'm willing to do it for you. I'm willing to do it for you. It also it helps build and establish the unity of the church. So here's one of the things that we like to say during this COVID pandemic. We like to say we're all in this together. Well, we're not all in this together if 50% of us are wearing masks and 50% of us have naked faces. That's not being all together. Being all together is like we're all doing this and we're all doing it for one another. So we're all wearing masks, and that keeps us from being divided. Look, I really don't want us to look like the country on this. Like our country has a political divide over this simple thing of wearing a mask. Let's not be divided the way the country's divided. Let's be the church. Let's be one.
Yeah, and so this is really just this is a temporary thing. This is an evolving thing. So what we do next might look different. Sorry, so let's do some real talk. What we want you to know is on this whole mask thing is this is going to be a judgment-free zone every single Sunday. And so we recognize that some of you have some health issues, some breathing issues that make it difficult for you to breathe wearing a mask on. So listen, if you've got to make some adjustments, if you've got to pull it down or raise it up and catch your breath, if you've got to step out, listen, it's okay. Really, it's okay. Like there won't be any kind of judgment about that. You know, so when you see the worship team up here on the platform on Sunday, like they won't be wearing a mask while they're on the platform because it becomes difficult to sing with microphones. That's why we're not wearing masks right now, because we're talking with microphones. It just becomes difficult to do the things they need to do. So that'll be judgment-free. Some of you with kids, so obviously if you have kids, masks is a big question, right? So if you have a kid 2 years and younger, if you've been seeing the CDC guidelines, like kids 2 years and younger should not be wearing a mask. Now for older kids, like sometimes they're fidgeting with it and they have a hard time keeping it on. You know, so we have a daycare, and so they're dealing with that, right? So they have kids that are 3 years old and 4 years old about what to do. And you know what? The good advice they've been had is if a kid can't stop touching their mask and pulling it off, then it'd be better for them not to wear it. And so this will be a judgment-free zone with you and your kids. If your kid needs to not wear a mask, there will not be judgment about that. Because listen, this is about loving each other and finding common ground together.
Yep. All right, so that's the mask talk. The final question is, how long are we going to be doing this? And the answer is, we don't know. We don't know. We're almost taking this a week or 2 weeks at a time. The medical scientists, they are constantly learning, constantly expanding their knowledge and their understanding. And as knowledge and understanding expands, that affects our behaviors and our actions and the things that we do. So our practices, our practices are continually being evaluated. We are constantly evaluating what we're doing, and so we're always evolving. So let's not make this about anything else other than being able to gather together again as lovers of Jesus, followers of Jesus, to worship Him and to be together and to worship together, be in community together, and hope to see as many of you as possible this Sunday, May 31st at 10 o'clock. Love you guys.